everybody. This is so exciting. Welcome to my class, which is about creative book journaling with Zebra Pen. I know they're going to post the link in the chat for the handouts. The handout it's 2 different pages. Can we flip so that everyone can spotlight the iPad? Perfect. Okay, so it's 2 different pages. They're automatically pre-sized for A5 bullet journal. You can use them as just on printer paper. You can resize them when you print them to make them bigger or smaller to size for your journal, or you can print them out and just cut out any piece that you want. You can use them in a journal. You can just keep them on paper. You can put them in a scrapbook. But the whole point of this is to sort of find some moments of zen through coloring and figure out fun and creative ways to get ourselves excited about reading. Today, I'm going to be using a myriad of Zebra products. I have the MILDLINER brush pens, regular MILDLINERs, the Zebra CLiCKARTs, and I'll be reaching and grabbing as we go, as well as the Zebra SARASA clip pens. So if you have any questions at any time, pop them in the chat and I'll be trying to sort of monitor that as we go. And if you want to see more from me or more from Zebra, the handles are here. You should also totally tag us with what you create in this class if you're posting on Instagram or any other social media. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm really excited. So as Ilse mentioned, this is my first class, and all I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna color things. Anything that I want to color, I'm going to do so. So this is a moment where, you know, if you're feeling stressed out or if, you know, you just need a little bit of time to yourself, take a couple minutes, color in a piece of the drawing. And so you can use, if I wanted to, we could do everything in one color, but it's a little more fun to use different colors. So here with the snake plant, I'm using the MILDLINER brush pen when possible, just because I like how it sort of flows over the page. But I'm going to go in with a CLiCKART and just sort of add some little details. So this is a snake plant. I modeled this after my living room, so I drew this all out and then scanned it into a computer to sort of clean it up. But I've got a little snake plant in my living room. His name is Pepe. He has a little hat. I'll post it on Instagram later if you want to see it. But really, this is just sort of a nice way to organize all of, you know, potentially our TBR or any book challenges that we want to do, which we'll talk about later. And there's really no wrong way to do this. It's just coloring. You can see it's like there could be, I could add in more of these sort of shaded spots. And even if, you know, maybe it won't end up looking photorealistic, that's fine. Because this is my little sort of imaginary planning living room where all of my reading dreams come true. And this little plant is living his best life. This plant will never die. So there's that. Yeah, so you can color anything you want, Amel. There is a coloring sheet provided in the class handouts. If you can't find the link, just go to Michael's classes online and then just search by most recent, because it'll be at the top because it's happening today. So I'm using the colors of MILDLINERs and MILDLINER brush pens that are available at Michael's. I think there's something like 35 of the regular MILDLINERs and 25 of the MILDLINER brush pens. Check me if I'm wrong, Zebra. But really, you can make something that looks really great, even if you just have sort of like a starter set. So Really, I'm just using my favorite colors. You can tell some of them are a little dried out because I've used them so much. And then making something that makes me happy. And like before, what we can do is think about, what the shading might be like. So maybe we'll add a little bit of an extra sort of, not a drop shadow is not the right word for it, but I'll add some shading sort of towards the bottom. And I'm just going over the regions that I've already covered once. And so you can see hopefully you can see you get a little more depth of color there. Depending on your journal, this might bleed a little bit. On printer paper, you're definitely going to get some bleed through, but just put something under it, like a different piece of paper. Let's see, what are your guys' favorite colors? Do you want to shout those out in the comments? Maybe we'll figure out. I might color it. I'm going to color it differently, I think, than the original one that I had done. But some parts of it, like the little pattern, I wanted to keep sort of visible for myself. But now it's gone. We'll compare them at the end and see sort of what turns out. Plum, jewel tones, purples. Okay, so I think that this pot needs to be purple then for sure. And then we'll add in, I think we're gonna add in like some embroidery on the pillow maybe, and maybe some fun patterns on the pot. Let's see, what am I thinking? We're gonna go in. It's really cool that some of the CLiCKARTs, they're not all perfect matches, but some of them are very close matches. Actually, I can't tell if these are the same color or not. But yes, so I'm gonna put like we're gonna do like a little embroidered flower on this pillow. I feel like that's something I would buy. And then a little flower daisy center. Easy peasy, super fun. Oh, nobody told me I didn't color in this little bottom base. So for some of this, like for the more precise tasks, I'm going to be using the sort of bullet tip. But for the books up top, that's where the chisel tip is really going to come into action. And then we're doing more. Okay, so let's see. What are we thinking pattern wise for this pot? I've done some dots. We could do some like chevron zigzags. Kind of liking that idea. I'm gonna try it out. We might actually do both. And then it's kind of reminding me of Charlie Brown a little bit. Just because of his shirt. Nice. And then maybe a few dots. Boop. Just inside of those patterns that we're creating. Super fun. Okay. So I think we're just gonna motor through coloring in some of this. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. But remember also that, if there's pieces of this that you want, you can cut them out, right? So if you want just a bookshelf, you can go and cut that piece out and then glue it in or use like a permanent adhesive. Let's see. So we've got, I love your use of color. Did you study color theory? No. So fun fact, I am actually a mathematician. The last art class that I took was in 6th grade. And then after that, my mom made me take band instead. So I have not taken an art class in, what grade am I? How old am I? I think something close to 20 years. But when I got back into journaling and sort of creative planning, that's when I sort of found a bit of joy in it. So really just practice makes perfect when it comes to this. And then Kim asked, when you shade, do you just go over it or do you pick a different darker color? It depends on what you want. So for me, I usually just go over it with that same color because it'll give me a darker version of that exact color. But I know that sometimes you might want it to look a different way depending on, like, you know, if there's a different color of light. So maybe, you know, let's say pink light on a yellow chair would actually give it like an orange shadow or something like that. So it's really up to you. What instrument in band? I played the clarinet, which in my opinion is one of the nerdiest instruments. The only thing nerdier, which to be clear, being a nerd is fabulous. It's one of my favorite things about myself. But the only thing nerdier than the clarinet would be like the cello and the tuba, because they were instruments that were bigger than the person who was using them. So like we'd watch kids like walk home carrying their tuba, and it was really sad. But yes. So here, what I'm gonna do, I'm using this really fun neutral toned mild liner, and I think for fun we're gonna try and add in a little bit of wood grain. I don't know. Sometimes I just, you know, sometimes I just do what I want. And so I should be, you know, see here how I'm doing a lot of straight lines really fast. It would be a lot easier if I was using the chisel tip, so I'm switching over. But we'll end up using that bullet tip for, you know, going in around the circle and refining it a little bit, and then for creating some of that wood grain. For me, I know that like when I'm drawing stuff, I always need a reference. So, you know, it helped here that I was looking at things in my living room. But so for this wood grain, I'm gonna kind of try and like look at what's in front of me. Like you can't see where I'm going, right? This sort of fake wood table top. And so I'm gonna draw not too much, just a little bit, and in certain places. So I'm gonna draw like a line and then try and kind of feather it out a little bit, because that's kind of how it works when I'm looking at wood. Like you get a little bit of a striation. Oh, that's a fun word. We're gonna talk about so many different fun words today. But and they'll usually sort of follow each other up. I don't want to do it all over it because sometimes we like the grain, other times, you know, other times if there's too much grain, if there's too much, you know, character, right? We wouldn't actually purchase the item. But it adds a little bit of fun interest, a little bit of extra pizzazz. Pizzazz is a great word. All right. And so here we've got a record player. What are we playing on our record player? I know that some people are hoping that Taylor Swift makes an announcement about Reputation today. I think that's happening right now. Ooh, I think I'm gonna go with a big sort of like electric blue record. If you're a Swiftie, we can pretend that this is Midnight's. If you're not, it's just an electric blue record. I really like how much people are going back into, you know, people are getting back into what would be considered retro, right? Analog sort of stuff. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll get the Walkmans, although we do have, you know, phones and headphones now, so that's a little bit less necessary. And we're gonna go in and just add maybe like a couple with a CLiCKART, or maybe even I might even instead go in with a SARASA and add a couple grooves here, right? Because we know that's how records actually work. I haven't used this pen in a while, so it's a little sticky, but all right, cool. And of course, classic gray mild liner, an oldie but a goodie. Just gonna go in and color in the needle. Fun. We're almost done. We've only been here for 16 minutes and we're almost done with this sort of bottom part, and then we can talk about books. So you'll notice on my little table here, there is a teeny tiny mild liner. It's so little, but I love it. And again, you know, if you want there to be something different on your table, draw it in. So I've got a book here. Maybe we want a magazine, maybe like a plate of cookies. That sounds yummy. I wish if I drew it on the page, I had it in front of me. A bakery near me just released a lemon blueberry cheesecake flavored cupcake, and you bet your bottom that's where I am headed after this. We also have a candle burning, right? I'm thinking of all of the self-care. This could be a book, it could be a journal too. All of the self-care angles. I'm wondering, what should this candle smell like? I know that some of my favorite scents are very woodsy or just smell like dessert. I also forgot to add the flame, so we're gonna go in and grab a. I put all of my stuff on this Instagram thing immediately. My bad. I'm just gonna go in and add a flame. Flames are usually orange, so this one. And we're just gonna draw like kind of like a reverse teardrop shape. Oh my God, I'm seeing so many things. Hot chocolate, French toast, maple syrup, yum. All of the sweet, sugary smells. Amazing. Amazing. All right, so we've spent sort of 15 minutes coloring in a little bit, sort of just our base. And now we can start to think about the top. I know that I've left the pictures open. I think we might touch those at the end. You can draw anything in there. It's great. They could just be solid. You could even add more gallery wall pictures in there. But let's talk about the books. This is my favorite part. So we can use this, right, for a number of different purposes, and however you want to use your shelves is totally up to you. Some ideas that you could do are using it as like your TBR. So that means to be read, but we're human, we like to abbreviate everything down to its smallest form. You could use it for color coding, sort of based on which month you read which book or something like that. Or you can color code using by genre. Alternatively, this is my personal favorite. My personal favorite is not color coding at all, technically. And you do whatever you want. So I am a huge rainbow shelf girl. I am. I love it. It makes my heart happy. I like to see as many rainbows in my house as possible. So that's what I'm going to go with. But here's the fun thing, is that if I change my mind later, that's fine. So I've got a few books here, and I will say that it's totally fine if the color doesn't mean anything, right? So like I might end up writing books in here that are not that nice. What is the name of this color? I don't know off the top of my head. Marigold. If they're not marigold, that's okay. But I like a little rainbow action. And also, we're gonna make mistakes, right? We're gonna think one color is one thing and then forget, and then it's not gonna be that color, and that's okay, right? We're gonna embrace a little bit of shelving chaos, because sometimes you just gotta put the book on the shelf, no matter where it is. I also just recently redid all of my bookshelves, and they look, in my personal opinion, fabulous. They look really good. So I have one that's done by color. I have one that's done by that's gonna get a little weird. I'm gonna switch to a different color. I have one that's done by series and author. So like So I would put all the Hunger Games books together, right? And then put them in the order that they go in. So it would be Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay. And I guess technically I could put the prequel before all of that. But that depends on your personal view. It's like, I know it's a prequel, but it was released second. What are we thinking? I also know that this could be a really fun way to track books that you want to read before they become TV shows or movies. I am firmly in the camp of the book is always better, but that's because in your imagination, you can do whatever you want. You're not constrained by any like fiscal responsibilities. Where they say, I'm sorry, we cannot make a fire-breathing dragon. You're like, what do you mean? There's a fire-breathing dragon in the book. It's a huge plot point. And I also think that I'm gonna do my rainbow shelves all the way across. You could do rainbow down and then rainbow up, or again, complete and total anarchy. If you want all purple shelves, do all purple shelves. Live your life. I cannot wait to see it. And I think I'll probably stop after the first row, see if there's any fun questions, if anybody has anything going on. We can also add decorations to the shelves themselves, which I think is really fun, in my humble opinion. I'm gonna use the brush for this one, just because the angle. So I know, that I'm on Bookstagram. I follow people, and they've got like plants on their shelves or vines or fairy lights and stuff. And I just think that is so incredibly fun. I know that for me, like, I need to stuff as many books in there as I can, so I don't have room for it. But this is my imaginary bookshelf where, I have all these precarious stacks and they'll never fall over. A cat will never knock them over. But yes, we're gonna go in with add a little color there. And again here, if we want to add a little shading, right? Say here, right, with that yellow, that book's probably casting a little bit of a shadow. You can just add a little extra dab of it down the side. Easy peasy. Whoop! We're losing lids. No big deal. And again, I'm gonna mess this up because I didn't use this bright highlighter yellow when I wanted to because I forgot. Doesn't matter. It's a little bit misshelved, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes my husband borrows my books and puts them back in the wrong place. I'm just shading him. He doesn't actually do that, but he is here today. I'm very happy. Oh, let's see, what do we got? I feel like this is the inside of Taylor Swift's folklore cabin. If only. I would love that. Let's see, you've done drawings of TV. Oh, where it features what's on tonight and you can draw in the series that you're watching. Yes. You could even draw like an open book down here, and in it you could put the title of the book that you're currently reading. The only thing there is that you might want to use maybe pencil so you could erase it. But yes, and I covered all of this up immediately again, so we're just gonna stuff that in the container. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick little break from the rainbow shelves just for a moment, right? Although, okay, I'm gonna keep coloring while I talk because I think if I don't finish the rainbow shells, it's going to hurt me internally, mostly just because I want to see it get done. But okay, so we're gonna walk and talk, right? So think about how you want to use, this sheet that we're all coloring. So do you want to put this in your journal? Do you want to use this as a way to track what books you're currently reading, what books you want to read? Maybe I know for me, I'm the type where I get recommended a bunch of books and then I immediately forget what they were. So that might be a nice place where, it might not be a book that I'm gonna read, but it's a book that I want to check out. And so like sort of see what it's about. That could be fun. So just sort of keep that in the back of your head. What are we thinking? Oh, I love this olive color. I have to include that. Even though it's a little out of place. It's fine. So what are y'all thinking that you're going to use your tracker for? You could also use it for example, like a series tracker. So what I could do, for example, like, there's 3 books in the Hunger Games trilogy, and I could write them in, and then when I finish them, I could highlight them. Or, there's a whole number of ways to do that. One thing that I like to do, or that I might do, so you can color them in once they're done, or you could put a little checkbox on the book. Because the problem that I would run into is that I would color in the book, right? And I'd go, okay, so I've got 3 books here and I don't remember what they went to. So I'm not gonna bank on me remembering things. Instead, I might add a little bit of decor that lets me know what's going on. Also, you can see I'm going a little outside of the lines. Whatever, it's fine. The book's just open a little bit. I'm gonna pull some of these. Someone mentioned MILDLINER mixes earlier. I think that would be really fun to use in these. I think you would get a unique spine for sure, because you'd get the combination of the two colors. There we go. Yes. Oh, 2024 faves. That's a great idea, Rosie. So what you could use it. Oh, wait, I almost forgot my favorite color. Where did it go? There it is. This one's my favorite. So you could use it to write in whenever a book in 2024 has been one of your favorites. Because like, I know I get to the end of the year and I go, what did I read? I don't quite remember. And so you can use programs like Goodreads or Storygraph, and those are really great ways to sort of keep track of the books that you've read, while also, using this analog version for a little bit of creativity, self-care, mindfulness, and as like a capsule kind of for 2024. We got books completed this year, different colors by season. That could be really fun, especially because I think so, like in the sets that they're sold in, I feel like they sort of have a spring color, winter color, summer color, fall color in them already, which is just based on, how people are like, oh yeah, you use the red folder for math. That's sort of what I've been thinking of. You could, oh my goodness, we're talking about cookbooks? I know I'm all over the place, but yes, this could be recipes to try. I know that we've got a bunch of cookbooks. My husband loves to cook. I love to eat. And we've got a ton of cookbooks that we want to work our way through, because we found some, like he's mentioning the Walk book by Kenji Lopez. Literally life-changing. It is a life-altering book. Every recipe from that has been so good. We also have a bunch of like baking cookbooks. That's great. And I just bought I know we thought we were talking about drawing, but now we're talking about cooking. I just bought a pictorial reference. Are these the same color? I can't even tell anymore. I guess they are. It's fine. one that like a let's draw ramen sort of thing, but it also has recipes for how to cook ramen. And let's add in just, we're gonna have one single hot pink book. Great. And I love how many different ideas you guys have for what you could put in your books or on your shelves, because there's no right way or wrong way to do it. There's actually, as far as I can tell, at least 50 different right ways. I think the only wrong way to do it would be to just not do it, maybe. But even then, I think that might be a little too harsh. But I really think I like the habit tracker idea. So you could color them in based on your mood. You could also color them in based on, so if I spend, let's say, 7 days reading one book, I would take 7 books and color them all in one color. And then you could see sort of how long you spent reading which book. Now, that'll depend on, the speed at which you read. If you read really fast, you'll have a bunch of different colors. If you read really slow, you'll have just a bunch of one color. And both ways are good. But I agree with you, Mariana. I forgot doing habit trackers and mood trackers because I would forget to fill them out. The nice thing about reading trackers is that even if you forget to fill them out, you still know what books you read, so it's okay. It doesn't matter what day you read them necessarily, it just matters that you read them at all. And just as a, sort of point here, ebooks, physical books, audiobooks, all of that counts as reading. Sometimes people like to specify which format it's in, just because of I want to know how many books I listened to, but it is all still reading. We can also add some of that wood grain on the shelves. Just kind of using that to color in some of the bits and pieces. So I think I'm going to use this tracker for my TBR, which is bigger than I thought it was. It will never be finished because more books will be released daily. That's not true, not daily, but books are usually released on Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on if you're indie published or traditional published. But there are new books being released all the time, and there will always be something to read or reread even. Okay, so I've added some wood grain in places. I kind of like how it looks. It doesn't look too much like wood rot or mold or anything. But now is the extra fun, super extra double fun. So for this, I'm gonna use my SARASA for the most part. Well, for writing in the title, but we're probably also gonna get a little decorative with the spines. So we can use any color of SARASA pen, or the CLiCKARTs. The CLiCKARTs are great for this as well. It just depends on, the color of the book and what specifically you're doing with it. So I think for something that has a really intricate design, I might lean towards the SARASA. But for something that's more color based, I would lean towards the CLiCKART. And I don't care about the spines really. Again, I'm not gonna have it be completely color coded, but I am just gonna start going in, and I'm just gonna start writing in some of the books that I want to read. And this is a great time for you guys to drop some book recommendations so that all of us can add to our TBR. Let's see. So I think I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna put 2 on this. I'm gonna rotate a little bit. So one book that just came out that I'm really excited to read is Apprentice to the Villain. I put a 2 at the top because it's the second in a series. You're currently reading Passenger Princess. Well, I am a passenger princess. I'm not a driver personally. I prefer to be driven. But that's an super easy, fun little thing that we can add. Oh, here we have The X Vows by Jessica Joyce. Fabulous book. Fabulous author as well. I love her. In my head, all of the books that I ever could possibly want to read have vanished from my brain. Let's see. I think that for this book is like a special edition, and it's called The Phoenix Keeper. So I'm gonna add like a little fire detail down here. I don't know. I like what I like. And I'm gonna use a couple different oranges to maybe kind of add in ombre. Gil says that he's reading The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. I know that that is one of the Witcher books, and that's one of his favorite books. I also know that he is currently reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood because he is a good husband who listens to his wife's book recommendations. We're also starting The Ministry of Time. That one is really fun. So this is The Phoenix Keeper. Definitely here, consider if you're writing in on the spines, right, that you're gonna want, if it's a long title, you want a long book. Or a thick book alternatively. The Ministry of Time is a fun one because it kind of asks the question, what if you plucked someone out of their timeline and put them into your timeline? And sort of, how would that go? Another easy way to add to these is just adding a little line at the top or at the bottom. You see how much like extra personality it gives that? Let me bring it up just a little bit. Right? It's just a little bit is all it takes. I'm gonna put that in there. I'm sorry for any wobbles that caused. I have a bunch of fantasy books on my TBR. And so you can see I didn't pick a long enough book, and that's okay. I could have also written smaller, but where's the fun in that? Okay, let's see. So we've got Precious says that we're adding to the TBR. Anel says that they like romance books. Sarah is reading Mary Higgins Gale's Sunday. Is that all? Which part of that is the author and which part of that is the title? I'm assuming is Sunday the book title? I don't know. I haven't heard of them. But hey, I'm not gonna rule anything out. What? This is also a great time if you're sort of thinking to yourself, oh, what do I wanna put in here? Go on your Goodreads, go on your story graph and kind of just see what you're thinking. I'm gonna put on here. It's kind of a cheesy love story. That one's written by my friend Lauren. We'll also just, if you think about old books, right? They often will have sort of these like cameo style like circles on them. Maybe with like some gilding. Monica, you're in the middle of like 4 books. Relatable. Very relatable. I am currently reading Red River Road, which say that 5 times fast. Which is about someone who goes missing in the Australian outback and then her sister's trying to find her. It's very scary already. So I would not recommend it for the faint of heart. And we can also add like a little doesn't matter if the lines are straight, doesn't matter, but you know, do your best. Oh my goodness, yes, Remarkably Bright Creatures. That book is so good. I have never been more emotionally attached to an octopus. Recently, I also read these, I have to be careful about this, These Violent Delights, which is a retelling of Romeo and Juliet in 1920s Shanghai. It is phenomenal. I can't believe that was her debut novel. So the sequel to that is Our Violent Ends. You said the book is based in the outback that you were reading with the sisters. Yes, it is based in Western Australia. That might not actually be the outback. I might be showing some products of American geography classes right now. And Anel, yes, 15 books in your Kindle Unlimited account ready to be read. That is a great thing. I'm going to take some of mine and put them on here now. So one of mine would be Cress. I know that I have that one by Marissa Meyer. That's been sitting in my Kindle in my Kindle shelf for a while. And let's see, how else could we decorate these books in sort of a fun way? I'm thinking we did talk earlier about maybe having like a little checkbox at the bottom. So that's sort of something that you could do. At a Kindle Fire on the table with a list of my podcasts. I love that. My first ever e-reader was a Kindle Fire. Just gonna go in and color in that book. I don't know what book that is, but it's a book. And yeah, we're just going all over the place. I'm trying to think. Now I can't think. Oh, now, yes, there it is. So From Helsinki with Love. That one is on one of my books that was recommended for me for my 12 books from 12 friends challenge. That one's always really fun if you're trying to get into reading. Because, you know, even if you don't love the book that your friends recommend, you can kind of get a sense of which of your friends have book recs that are similar to yours, which is always it's always nice. I think yes, Coming Home by Melissa Grace. I just got an advanced reader copy of that book. That's the 5th book in her Home series, and I freaking love it. Oh, I managed to turn on my phone by saying the word that means several books in a row. But yeah, so we're kind of getting towards the end here. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that you want to talk about? I might go in and start doing some of the art on the walls. This one is definitely, I think, the most fun part of it because there's really no rules. It's literally a blank canvas. So I'm gonna go in, put in some little gingham plaid pattern. So that's sort of the vibe. I remember that I did it on my original and I really liked it. So we're gonna go in and do it again. I also think, okay, so we're gonna add a couple, you know, the best way to do a gingham would be, we're gonna add like a really bright lines. Putting a little plaid in there. We're reading Go as a River by Shelley. I've never heard of that one. No, that's always fun. No matter how much you read, you'll always find books that you haven't heard of. Let's see. You know, I think I said that this was a gingham, but maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm gonna add like a really I'm gonna go double thick on this. I don't know. sometimes you just have to have a little fun. I might be just adding to this forever. And if I get frustrated, right? If I don't like it, which, you can always just take like a little white piece of paper, cut it out, cover it up, and you can make a new piece of art. That's also a really fun way for you to just, I'm changing my mind on my colors. If you were tracking the number of books that you were reading in a given month, you could just put it on a little sticky note and reset it at the end of the month. And so you'd be able to track like, oh, well, in August I read 3 books. In July I read 5. I'm just going in and I'm just spitballing, adding in some fun little art on the wall. Another thing that you could do, right? I did all of my writing at the top in just sort of my normal handwriting, but you could use capital letters, you could do cursive letters, you could try and do some fun new lettering styles. That's my attempt at a serif. I think that's the right word. If anyone here is very knowledgeable about fonts and typefaces, please correct me. But yeah, I'm just double checking on my list of everything that I wanted to make sure that we talked about. But yeah, Perla asked, how did you get into working with Michaels? So I met some people from Zebra at Go Wild 2 years ago, and we hit it off. We were talking. They're like, you do math? That's so great. And we got into talks, and then it took a while. It took about 2 years, and then they said, hey, do you want to teach a Michaels class on book journaling? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And now we're here. Here's the class. And that's kind of how it worked. I'm not sure how the Michaels class stuff works normally, like if anyone can teach a class or not. Ilsa would definitely know, at least I think. There's a bookstore having an event. I'm making a poster of one in the background. I love that. Okay, wait. One of my friends, she couldn't come today because she's getting a crown replaced, but she has a book truck. So I'm gonna draw the book truck in the little art picture. That's a great idea, Rachel. And I forgot windows, so we're just gonna look at these tinted windows. Whoa. And you can color the background of it, right? We're like, oh, look, there's sky. Thank you, Kelly. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think that, sort of once you get started in book journaling, right, even if it's, you start with tracking a TBR or writing down what books you did read or book recommendations, that's really the start of, it can help you get kickstarted in your reading habits, as well as in just, journaling in general. So this is definitely a very more artistic version of where I started. And now, now I'm book journaling on the internet for people. So yeah, I hope that this has inspired you to get a little bit more creative in your journaling. Maybe you made a new friend or picked up a couple of book recommendations. But I think we're wrapping up, and that's about it. Be sure to post your creations on Instagram or anywhere and tag me so that I can see it. and Mariana, you said you didn't finish. That's totally fine. Take your time. I didn't finish either, technically, right? I haven't filled out all my shelves, but do it at your own pace in a way that sort of gives you self-care. My Instagram is at plainwithm. And should also tag zebrapen_USA. Both myself and Zebra are on YouTube as well. And be sure to follow the new MILDLINER official Instagram as well. But yeah, I think I'm just going to do a quick scroll. We've got what's your yep. Yes. And Danielle just dropped something with so much information in it. And yeah. Anything else anybody has? If not, just keep journaling, enjoy the rest of your day, and have fun. Thank you so much for coming.